Hello and good evening. Because today we have a little bit more slides than the previous class, so I think I start the presentation. Then I hope that the rest of the class will join us. Can you hear me? Mr. Mirvis, are you ready? Can you hear me? All right. Okay, today is our fifth class, all right, and then I want to talk about the overview about the research methodology, whatever that I told you up to now, and then the business research process, getting a project started, research design, research choices, research strategies, and time horizon, research purpose, and what's the definition of good dissertation. All right, for overview about the business research process, as we discussed it before, so there are 6 steps or maybe 5 steps. It depends on your research, and it depends on your decision that you want to make your thesis in how many chapters. But usually the dissertation includes from 5 to 8 chapters. And it can vary based on your idea and based on your length of your thesis. So for the first step, we have defining the problem. It means that first we should find that what's the problem. Do we want to solve the problem or solve the issue or investigate the problem? So first we should define it, all right? And then the second step is developing an approach to the problem, and then formulating a research design, and after that, of course, we have a collection of data, and then analyzing the data, and finally preparing and presenting the report, meaning that we should come to the... Can you hear me now? Hello, can you hear me now? All right, I try to do my best and talk loudly that you can hear me. All right? Okay, continue that after data collection and analyzing the data, so we should come to the preparing and presenting the report. Okay, next slide. Okay, overview of getting a project started. Identify a topic or area of interest. All right. So first you should identify a topic and the area of your interest. As I asked the student that send me the topic and area of their research, the field of the research that they want to do their dissertation and research. So this is the first step. So after that, the key transition is from topic to question. After you find your topic, then you can transition it to the question. What does it mean? It meaning that you should read about the topic and identify puzzle in the literature, meaning that what does puzzle mean in the literature? It means that when you read about your topic, you can understand that where is the gap where is the what part of the puzzle is not completed, hasn't completed yet. Okay, that is your task, that is your dissertation and research that should fill up this part of the puzzle and complete it. So when you have a map or picture of the whole of the literature, and you can puzzle in the literature, then you can to find your question. And one of the specification for how to write the question of research, okay, meaning QR, question of research, it is that the question of research should not be longer than 1 or 2 sentences. It shouldn't be complicated, okay? It should be very clear, and it should have the main idea of your research. And then clearly define the purpose of the project. It is very important also, and I always ask you to focus on the RQ and RO. It means research question and research objective. That they are the two most important parts in the research. And then after that, once you have a question, you need a hypothesis about the answer. Okay, if you find your question of the research, then you should make a hypothesis that how can you find out the answer of the question. It means the objective of your research. So, from theory to hypothesis, okay. After that, when you do your literature review, you can find your main theory. You can find your main theory. Okay, I think we have one question now. Mr. Mills asked about that. Shall we start our research with question of the research? Start means after find the topic, yes. After you find your topic, okay, and you know that which area and which field of management you want to do your research, and then finalize your topic, of course you should think about the research question, research objective, and the other important thing is problem statement that I mentioned and explained about all of them in previous class. Not previous class, I think the first or second class that we have, okay? They are very important because they are the framework of your research. If you know what is the question of the research, if you know about the objective of your research, and you know what's the problem that you want to do this research, what's the problem statement, then you can go to other part with a clear and sure idea. And then the step by step, when you do the research, finally you can come up to the conclusion, a good recommendation, good suggestion, and everything done good. But if you don't have a clear research question, research objective, and problem statement, so during doing the research, you face a lot of problems, and maybe many times you should do it from the first, again and again and again. So the most important thing is topic, and after topic, RQ, RO, and PO, meaning problems, PS, sorry, meaning problem statement. They are very important. Okay, and then sometimes our All of our research is based on the theory. Sometimes it's based on the model, and it depends on the approach that you want to do the research. So if you have a theory, once you have a question, okay, what's the problem again? Can you hear me now? Okay, so from theory to hypothesis, once you have a question, turn to various methods of theory development, deduction, formal theory, computational models, and induction building by analogy. Okay, theory building often involves both methods. So as you remember, last session I gave you some example about the inductive and deductive research. And I also send the email to you that include all of these examples that you can get clear idea about what's the difference between inductive and deductive research approach. So for theory and how to make the theory and hypothesis, it depends on the method that you choose. If you have a deduction, so you have a formal theory and then computational model. If you have induction, it means inductive approach of the research, so you should building by analogy, okay? And if you want to have a theory building, it means you can involve both methods. It means mix of induction and deduction. So today we want, okay, Mr. Mires asked me about the hypothesis. So you want to know the meaning of hypothesis, or exactly what's your question? Can you explain more? Okay, about the meaning of hypothesis. All right, hypothesis meaning that something in the research that you presume it, all right, you guess. For example, you see the problem and then you see the issue, all right? Then you want to give a solution, or you want to investigate this problem or issue, all right? Then, okay, how do you want to solve it? You think, for example, 1, 2, or 3 things that the cause of this problem. So they are your hypotheses. Then you do the research and justify all of these hypotheses by collecting the data, analyzing the data. You can come up to the result that show you which of your hypothesis is correct, and this exactly the main cause for the problem. It means that first you have a hypothesis, then by doing your research and for example, collecting the data and analyzing this data, you can get the correct hypothesis. All right. Okay, good. So today I want to talk about the research design. So what's the research design? A master plan that specifies the method and procedure for collecting and analyzing needed information. All right, so all of the method and procedure, collecting, analyzing the data and information come to the research design. So when you want to do a research design, if you see this slide, it means the first you should define the information needed, design the exploratory, descriptive, and casual phases of the research that today I explained about descriptive, exploratory, and also explanatory, and then come to the other part of the research design that step by step I will explain for you in other classes. All right, so today just we focus on descriptive, exploratory, and explanatory of the purpose of the research. Okay, the process of research design is research choices, research strategies, and time horizon. So if we want to divide the research design to three categories that help us to do our research design better, we can say that it can come to three categories, three option. All right, research choices, research strategies, and time horizon. So for defining research design, we should define research choices, research strategies, time horizon, and then at the end, finally, we come to the research design. The research design also needs a clear objective derived from the research question. So as you see in the presentation, in every step that we want to take it in our research, again we should come back to our research question. If we want to do our literature review, we should search about the research question. If we want to do our research design, again we should go back to the research question. So because of this, I told you that research question and research objective and problem statement of the research are very important. They are three main parts of the body of the research. Okay, so again, for research design, we need a clear objective that derives from the research question. It means the research question and again research objective. To specify source of data collection, to consider, concentrate, and ethical issue, valid reason for your choice of design. So now I see the word ethical issue, the term of ethical issue. I remember something that I want to tell you, and it's about my emails. Okay, it's supposed that all of the emails that you receive, you should keep it by yourself, and you shouldn't spread it because this slide is for WWF, and then regarding to the copyright, okay, regulation and all the other also regulation that there is in the system, you shouldn't spread them. All right, thank you. So this is okay. These four items need for research design. Now we go to classification of the research purpose, as I told you in previous slides. All right. So we have three research purpose: exploratory, descriptive, and explanatory. Okay, if you see this slide. Okay, for a classification of the research purpose, today I will give you a short explanation about these three, okay? But the better way to understand exactly what's the difference of these three types of research purpose, it's better that you go to the internet and search the example of this research. Because in the class, if I give you the example, each example contain maybe 3 or 4 pages that you should read it from the first up to the end, and then we don't have this time in the class because it becomes so boring if I read the example for you. So it is your task that when after finish the presentation and you get the whole idea about the definition of the exploratory research, descriptive, and explanatory, that by I giving the slide to you. After the review of this, if you want to learn more than this, so it's better that you read the example of them, okay? And this is the best way that it will help you to be more clear about this part of the research purpose. So, for my explanation, I can tell you that the purpose of research. Okay, the first one is exploration, okay? All right, Mr. Neves, I will give you some slides about the definition and maybe some example. Okay, after finish today's presentation, if again you don't have any idea about the difference of them, as I told you, the better thing is that you go and find the example and read, because for each of them maybe it's good for you to read the example of the research sample. So I cannot bring the research sample in the class because it's too long, all right? But I try to do my best and give you lots of information about the definition and the practical way that you can use these three purposes of the research, and I hope that you can get the idea, all right? So about exploration, generally not sufficient for dissertation project. Okay, description, this can be the goal if significant new facts or relationships are identified. Usually need to at least speculate on explanation. And explanation and central goal of most political science research. Okay, after that, we can say that exploratory research to gain ideas and insights. Descriptive research to obtain summary measure to address research questions. And casual research for cause and effect, connection between managerial decision and market outcome. So I think maybe your research be exploratory research because you gain idea and insight, okay? Or maybe it's casual research for cause and effect, connection between managerial decision and market outcome, for example. So it depends on your thesis. Exploratory research usually conducted during the initial stage of the research process. Purposes to narrow the scope of the research topic and to transform ambiguous problem into well-defined ones. So I think, for example, last semester, most of my students do exploratory research because the purpose of the research they did, so they narrowed the scope of the research topic and then transformed the problem to the defined one. So they investigate the big problem, and then they come to the first they have a big issue, then they narrow down, and then they come to the conclusion for the specific problem, and they solve and they give the solution and recommendation and conclusion, something like this. So I think for this step, maybe I guess that your research also should be exploratory. Exploratory research techniques. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Okay, which slide? The 13? All right. Okay, for exploratory research, usually conducted during the initial stage of the research process. So the purpose of exploratory research to narrow the scope of the research topic and to transform ambiguous problems into well-defined ones. All right. So when you do the exploratory research, so you have a scope, but you should narrow down it to research topic and transform ambiguous problem into well-defined ones. All right. What does it mean? It means that first you have a problem, okay, the big issue, all right, and then step by step you narrow down and investigate the problem, and then you focus on this problem and narrow down, then you can come up to the conclusion and recommendation. So you have a scope and then narrow to research topic and transform the problem into the defined one, all right. I think most of the students, this is my experience for last term, that they did exploratory, not from big to a small exactly. It doesn't mean exactly that from big to a small. It means that you have a scope and then you investigate the problem and come to the topic and then narrow to the conclusion. It's not from big to a small. I don't know. Can you get the idea? It means that you should move from a scope to the topic, and from topic to research question, and then from research question go to the conclusion. The way the movement like this, it doesn't mean that from big to a small. It means this movement should be done during your research. Okay, let me explain more slides about them, and I think it will be more clear for you. Okay, exploratory research techniques. So, for example, you choose exploratory research. So, what is the techniques that you can do the exploratory research? The first one, secondary data analysis. Secondary data are data previously collected and assembled for some project other than one at hand, all right? If you use secondary data analysis, meaning that you do exploratory. Pilot study, a collective term for any small-scale exploratory research techniques that use sampling but does not apply rigorous standards. All right, apply rigorous standards. So many times we have a pilot study, especially for the student who wants, for example, to do the marketing plan or business plan. For example, they want to write a marketing plan for a new setup, new startup business, okay? So when they want to write a business plan or marketing plan for new startup business, it means that they do the pilot study. It means that the technique that they use may be pilot study, and they do the exploratory research. And for example, focus group interview and projective techniques, indirect means of questioning that enable a respondent to project beliefs and feelings onto a third party or an inanimate object, or word association test, sentence competition test, role playing. So all of these techniques, for example, interview or a pilot study or secondary data analysis, all of them can be the techniques for exploratory research. Case study, experience surveys. These are also for the exploratory research techniques. All right. So for case study, I think you know about the case. What's the case study? Case study is intensively investigate one or a few situations similar to the problem situation. Okay. And experience survey, individuals who are knowledge about the particular research problem or question. So these are very clear. If you do the case study method or technique, if you do the experience survey, also you do the exploratory research. So most of the time, a student use survey by spreading the questionnaire, or maybe they use interview, they do case studies. So all of them, they are the techniques of exploratory research. So about conclusive research, provide specific information that aids the decision maker in evaluating alternative courses of action, okay? Some statistical methods and formal research methodologies are used to increase the reliability of the information. Data styles tend to be specific and deceive, also more structured, formal than explorative data. So for conclusive research, the research that sounds more like the statistical method, and it's of course because more statistics are using this method, so the sounds that like this that more structure and more formal than the exploratory. Yes, Mr. Mibes, you can mix the techniques. For collecting the data, of course, you can mix the method. For example, for collecting the data, you can do interview as well as the survey. Both of them is possible. You can mix the method. Yeah, it's very good if you do this. Okay, types of conclusive research, descriptive research, and casual research. Okay, about descriptive research, as the name is show us, it's about describe attitude, perception, characteristic, activities, and situation. Examine who, what, when, where, why, and how question. If you answer about who, what, or you describe the attitude, meaning that you do the descriptive research, okay? And casual research provides evidence that a cause and effect relationship exists or does not exist. So for casual research, it means the cause and effect. So for cause and effect, always you should find a relationship between the exist and something and the variable of exist or not existent, okay? So common characteristics of descriptive studies: build on previous information, show relationships between variables, representative sample require, a structured research plan requires substantial resource, and conclusive finding. So the most important thing about the descriptive study is built on previous information. So it means you should do lots of research review that you can get the idea about previous information and previous studies. All right, the other important part of the research design is research strategies. So for research strategies, it can be experiment, a grounded theory, ethnography, action research, survey, case study, and archival research. So for research strategies, an experiment will involve definition of a theoretical hypothesis, selection of samples from no population, random allocation of sample, introduction of plan intervention, measurement on a small number of dependent variable, control of all other variables. So for experiments, as one of the research strategies under research design, you should defend again theoretical hypothesis. You should have a hypothesis, and you should select the sample, and then you should have a random application of sample, and then understand about the intervention between them. All right, and this is a class experiment strategy. This is the example that you can see. The other research strategy is survey. For survey, the key features can be first popular in business research. Yes, in business research, including management also. Yeah, for management also, survey is very famous, very popular. And then perceived as authoritative, allows collection of quantitative data. Data can be analyzed quantitatively. Sample needs to representative, given the researcher independence, a structure observation interview can be used. Again, you can have interview, you can have a survey together, all right? And the method should be quantitative. So for case study, provide a rich understanding of real-life context. Uses and triangulate multiple sources of data. A case study can be categorized in 4 ways and based on 2 dimensions: single case versus multiple case, and holistic case versus embedded case. Now I explain this this example, in this slide. All right, if you want to do the single case, for example, if we consider the topic of cancer surgery, okay, for example, your topic is investigate about cancer surgery. Again, we can begin to discuss how to determine the type of case study and the necessary number of cases to study. A single holistic case might be decision-making of one woman or a single. For example, we want to investigate about the cancer surgery among the women, all right? So if we choose a single holistic case study, it means we only investigate a decision of one woman or a single unit of the respondent, okay? Group of 30-year-old women facing cancer surgery. But remember that you also have to take into consideration the context. So are you going to look at these women in one environment because it is a unique or extreme situation? Then you consider holistic single case study. So if your respondent only, for example, women in a group of women in age 30, only this you are a respondent. So you do the holistic case, a single holistic case, all right? But if you want to do embedded unit, embedded case study, it means that you have this group of women in different clinics, not only in one unit, okay? So as I mentioned in this slide, if you were interested in looking at the same issue, meaning the topic again same, the cancer surgery, but now we are integrated by the different decision made by women attending different clinics. So your unit is not just one, it's not just only one clinic, it's different clinics within one hospital. Then a holistic case study with embedded unit. So it's holistic case study because it's one hospital, so it's holistic. But because different clinic of hospital, so it means not single and it's embedded unit. Again, after the finish the presentation, you can review this slides by yourself, and then exactly you can get the idea what's the different type of the case study. So for multiple case study, more than a single case, it means that a different hospital as well, or in different cities. So it means that multiple case studies. So Mr. Mires asked me about if we research about the problem of a city. It means that okay, for city, what exactly your topic? Can you tell me that I can give you example and explanation? Can you give me your idea exactly what do you mean by problem of the city? Can you hear me, Mr. Mewes? Do you have any idea? The environment, you mean the pollution? All right. Okay, for example, for pollution, you can, okay, for pollution, how can we give you example? Let me think and give you example end of the class. Because now I'm thinking and just finish the slide and again come back to this and give you the example for pollution. Give more time to think about the example. All right. Maybe, okay, for pollution, maybe we can say this. If, for example, we see the pollution, weather pollution, okay, air pollution. Air pollution of Kabul exactly, we can consider it as single if we, for example, see the air pollution only in north of the Kabul. Alright, but if, for example, we see the air pollution in north and east and west of the Kabul, it means that multiple case study, alright? And then, so it's not single, it's multiple because different parts of the Kabul, alright? And then, for example, when you do the survey, you understand that, for example, in okay, if you want to do the holistic, just for example, north of the Kabul, all right? So north of the Kabul, maybe divide to 3 main, for example, street or area. Then if you, for example, because I was not in Afghanistan, so I'm not familiar that how can exactly geographically, I don't know how can explain, but just imagine that, for example, north of the Kabul has 3 area A, area B, and area C, all right? And then, for example, area C, because the factory, that, for example, if there are factories in area A of north of the Kabul, all right, and they have air pollution more because they have a factory in this area. So if you investigate only the air pollution in area A of north of the Kabul, all right, it means that you do the single holistic. Alright, single holistic case study because only area A in north of the Kabul. Alright, can you hear me now? Alright. So it means that you do the single holistic case study, okay? But if you do only north of the Kabul, okay, but the air pollution in 3 categories. Area A, area B, and area C. So it is again holistic because only north of the Kabul, but it's embedded unit, area A, area B, and area C. Okay, all include the north of the Kabul. So you have a holistic case study because only again north of the Kabul, but different units. Unit means area A, area B, and area C. So you have a holistic with embedded case study, all right? So after that, if you go not only for north of the Kabul, you also investigate air pollution in other area, east, west, south, okay? So it means that you have a multiple case study. So the topic is same. All of them, the topic is air pollution, but the unit and the area is different. So because of this, you have different case studies. Is it okay? Can you get the idea now? All right, good. Okay. Okay. Good. Good. For action research, for the key feature, all right, the key feature for action research. Research in action, not on action, involves practitioners in their research. The researcher becomes part of the organization and promotes change within the organization. So it means that you have action research. And this is again the research strategies. And ethnography, the other type of the research strategies is ethnography, okay? So aim to describe and explain the social world inhabited by the researcher. I think ethnography may be the social researcher, the student or the researcher in field of social topic, all right? So maybe they use this type of the research strategy, all right? So takes place over an extended time period and is naturalistic, involve extended participant observation. So they have a participant observation, it's naturalities, and aim to describe and explain the social world, all right? So that way come to the ethnography. So, archival research, the key feature for archival research is uses administrative records and documents as the principal sources of data, allows research questions focused on the past, is concentrated by the nature of the record and documentation. So it's very clear. All of us know that what's archive, okay? So when you do the archival research, all of the things are based on the record and document and information from the past, all right? So in this slide, you can see that you can use the multiple research method, research choices, quantitative, qualitative, all of them can mix that you asked me before. Okay, the other part of research design is time horizon. So about time horizon, I can say that it is for time horizon, we can select sectional studies or longitudinal studies. And this is the example, and you can see, not example, this is the graph that you can show you how the cross-sectional design and longitudinal design. So if you want to compare, these two types of time horizon, for cross-sectional, all right, you see that representativeness and response variance is better, but for longitudinal, the detecting change, amount of data collected, and accuracy, okay, is better. So if the accurate and validity of the research is more important for you, so it's better that you do it longitudinal. Okay, credibility of research findings. Of course, your research of whatever that you find in your research, and you want to refer it in the conclusion, in your suggestion, and in your recommendation, it should be it should have a reliability, validity, generalizability, and logic list and false assumption. And this also is the quote for Saunders et al. That say that research design should not subject the research population to embarrassment, harm, or other material disadvantage. This is the quote for the research design about ethics. Alright, so because today I explain lots of category and, for example, option of the research. So again, I bring this slide that you have the whole map of whatever that I told you today. So research design turn a research question and objective into project that consider. So as a one sentence, I can explain the research design. That what's the research design? Okay, at the end of the class, if someone asks what's the research design, so you can tell that okay, research design turn or convert a research question and objective into project that considers in action. All right, and it becomes to three parts: strategies, choices, and time horizon. And research project can be categorized as exploratory, descriptive, and explanatory. And research project may be by cross-sectional or longitudinal. So totally, as a one overview, okay, important consideration for this class. The first one is the main research strategies may combine in the same project. The opportunities provided by using multiple methods. So again, I say you can use multiple methods. The validity and reliability of results, and access and ethical consideration. Oh, sorry. Okay. What is a good dissertation? Most of the time, at the end of the presentation, I put that what is the good dissertation, because I always that remind you that how you should do your dissertation. Again, I put what is the good dissertation. The good dissertation should have a theory development, and always you should ask yourself that is this alone enough for a dissertation? Theory testing, that it is essential for a dissertation or not, and policy evaluation, is this any different from theory testing? So always you should evaluate whatever you have done, okay? Because sometimes you have a research question, you have a research objective, then you do the literature review, data collection and analysis, and finally when you come to the conclusion, again come back to the research question and you say, oh my god, you don't cover the gap, you don't answer the research question, and you do another research. It is very common, because always you should evaluate in end of each of a chapter. You should evaluate your work, again check with your research question and research objective, okay? Always you should check and evaluate your work. That at the end, when you come to the conclusion, you can see that okay, this conclusion, this recommendation, and this suggestion exactly related to the topic, exactly related to the research question, and me as your reader, as the reader of your research, when I look at your topic, then exactly I go to the chapter 1 and read your research question and research objective and problem statement, and maybe sometimes I just look at how you collect the data, analyze the data, and come suddenly I go to the conclusion part and read your conclusion and compare it to your chapter 1, that I see, okay, is there any relationship, is there any process that you follow up, and then you come from chapter 1 to chapter 5 or no. So evaluation is very important. So again, what is a good dissertation? Historical evaluation descriptive. When does this constitute a contribution to social science? Literature assessing. A viable strategy for dissertation. When does this constitute a contribution to social science? So also when you do the research, because you are doing the management research, okay, or in field of business, so it should be practical. So always you should think about that. How can you use it in the social science, in your society, in the organization, in the company, okay? Okay, and always you should think about the scientific, okay, that do you follow up the scientific method, scientific research, because you should do the scientific research. The method, all the process that you do should be scientific. So always you should ask about yourself about this question to make sure that you are in a right step. And so if now you are in a right position, so your next step also should be right. But if you are not in right position, so the next chapter also shouldn't be right, and the next chapter also shouldn't be right. All right. So always evaluation can help the student to do the right and the good and valuable research. So because of this, I ask you to do the research step by step and receive comments from me, from your colleagues, from anyone that you think you can help you, that you can improve your research. Because research like this, research, it means that you want to do something by improving, okay? So it's not an assignment that you want to answer the question. It's not like this. You want to solve something, okay? You don't want to read the book and then me or someone else ask you that what does this book about and what is the answer of this question that the reference is in the book. The research is something different. You want to solve something. There isn't any answer for your research question in any book, in any article, in any journal. If there is and it's clear the answer of your research question, meaning that you don't do the research because now it's available. So it's not like assignment. It's a research. It's a new thing, new idea, new conclusion, new recommendation. So when you want to create something new, of course you should be in the process of improvement, okay? And always you should think about the progress to take a step in right way. And if you do this way, so it means that you are a truly researcher, okay? You are the real researcher. Okay, today I think we can finish our presentation now. And if you have any question, you can ask me. Okay, Mr. Mibes, if you have any question, you can ask me now. Alright, I don't know that you can see or you can contact to other the classmates, because I don't know, maybe you are not in the same city of the Afghanistan. But if you see them, if you have any group that you can contact each other, ask the classmates that attend the class, first attend the class, and attend the class on time, all right? And the other thing, send me the topic, okay? And ask them if they have any problem with the time of the class, in terms of date or day of the class, so we can change it. Because last semester the students are more, how can I say, more active. They attend the class, they send me their topic by the first 2 weeks of the class, but now 1 month of the class passed, I didn't receive any topic. So I think maybe the time of the class is not suitable, they cannot arrange it, alright? So it's a problem I can solve by my side, alright? So I can solve it, no problem, I can change it and arrange another. But if they have other problems, so they can talk to WWS or something like this. I hope we can a good class, and you can get a good information about the research methodology, and by the end of the semester I can receive very good research and dissertation from you. Okay, thank you. If you have any question, you can ask me now. If no question, we can finish the class. It's very good. It's very good if you send me the topic, and then I will see your topic and send my comments to you, and then finalize it, and then you have a final topic, then you can start your research. You are welcome, no problem. Do you have any other question or idea or suggestion? You can talk about it now. Thank you so much. I hope you have a very good week as well, and I hope you can find a very good topic and send me. Alright, I think now we can finish the class. Have a very good weekend. Good luck in your research. Thank you and goodbye.